Good morning everybody. I am Purnima and I welcome you all to my English class. Children, today I am going to continue the same lesson, the best Christmas present in the world. And I told you it is written by Michael Morforco. So let me write the name of this writer. It is written by Michael Morforco. Now, very nicely told by the author that how he, on the day of the Christmas Eve, he went to the market and he went to the junk shop. There he found roll top decks. So children, roll top decks he wanted to buy from from the last year, from many years he wanted to buy that roll top decks, and since it was very costly in the market and his budget was not allowing him to buy. So when he saw that roll top decks in the junk shop, though the condition of the roll top decks was very poor, it was fully damaged by the fire and the water, but then one thing he realized, that it was made of oak wood. Oak wood, the quality of oak wood is really excellent and it is very strong also. So he decides that he will buy that roll top decks, and after buying he will repair it. He will repair it and then it will be worth using it. So he bought that roll top decks. It was not very costly and though it was very old, made of oak, so he was interested in buying it. He bought it. It was really in very bad condition. It had burn marks down one side, but it was very cheap. So Arthur decided to buy it and get it repaired by himself. Well, children, it was Christmas Eve and he started working on it. He removed the roll top and tried hard to pull out the drawer. He removed the roll top. Okay, the roll top, children, it is a tilted bench. He removed the roll top and he started to pull out the drawer. The drawer was stuck. It has become very hard and it was stuck there. It had suffered much damage due to fire and water. The drawer was jammed. He hit it hard with his fist and pulled it out. And when he pulled it out, he found a secret drawer was also there underneath. Well, he looked in the secret drawer and he found a tin box was there. A small black color tin box was present there. He took out that small tin box, and upon that tin box a note was put there, and it says, Jim's last letter received January 25, 1915, and then the letter writer also wished to put it in her grave. Out of curiosity, he opened the box. Now children, so what was there? A note was stuck on the box. It was written here, Mrs. Jim for, it was written here, Jim last letter received on January 25, 1915, and the owner of that box, children, she wished that whoever found this thing, it should be buried in her grave. Well, he was very curious when he read it and he opened the box. Inside he found an envelope. In that envelope it was written a address, and in that what was there in the address? Mrs. Jim MacPherson, 12 Copper Beaches, Birdport, Dorset. The letter was dated December 26, 1914. So children, the letter was dated December 26, 1914. This letter had been written by Jim to his wife Connie. So children, it was whose letter? It was the letter of Jim, which was and children, this letter was written to his wife Connie. Okay, Connie MacPherson, and Connie, Jim was a soldier and he went to fight with German army during the First World War, and his wife was left alone. She Mrs. Jim McPherson, and he went there. From there, he used to write the letters to his wife. So this was the letter which he had written to his wife when he went to have a war with fight with German soldier. So the letter had been written by Jim to his wife Connie. He was a soldier set against the German during the First World War. Jim wrote to her that he was very happy because something wonderful had happened. Now children, the day on which Jim wrote a letter, it seems that he was very happy as he wrote that today some wonderful thing has happened. The soldiers on both sides of the no man lands were taking up positions in their trenches. So children, trench was there. It was not neither the place of German soldier nor the place of British soldier. So in that trench, both the side of the soldiers, they were taking place. That means they were coming and staying there. The soldiers on both sides of the no man lands were taking up positions in their trenches. It was Christmas morning, cold and frosty. And children, that day, what was there? It was Christmas morning and it was very cold, extremely cold and frosty. That means the earth was covered with snow. Now, so the soldiers on both sides of the no man's land were taking up position in their trenches. It was Christmas morning, cold and frosty. Jim saw the German soldier waving a white flag. Jim saw the German soldiers waving a white flag. They were calling out the English soldiers to say Happy Christmas. Children, so what they were doing? They were calling out the English soldiers to say Happy Christmas. It was a big surprise to be greeted like friends by the enemies, but it was true, it was not a trick. So earlier they thought a trick, it must be some trick, okay, but when they came with the white flag in their hands, so the British soldiers concluded that they are not going to have any trick. Instead they want to have some peaceful talk with them. And when they came near it, they found that they want to celebrate Christmas together. Well, the leader said that they wanted to celebrate the festival. Jim was the officer in command. So Jim was officer in command. He allowed his men to join the German. Grey coat and khaki coat. So children, grey coat and khaki coat, as I have written earlier, grey coats were the British soldiers, and their commanding officer was Jim McPherson, and khaki coats were German, and their command was Hans. Commanding officer was Hans Wolf. Okay, so this thing you don't have to forget. Grey coats were the British soldiers. Their commanding officer was Jim McPherson, and khaki coats were German soldiers. Their commander was children, this Hans Wolf. So they came together and they started talking. Now they told that they want to celebrate Christmas and they wish each other Merry Christmas. It was a big surprise to be greeted like friends by the enemy. So children, the British soldiers, they were surprised because they were greeted like friends, okay, and they were happy, they enjoyed the festival, they drank, they danced, they ate the cake, festival cake, okay. And Jim was the officer in command. He allowed his men to join the German. Grey coat and khaki coats mingled in the middle. In the time of war, they were making peace. The German soldiers who came first was named Hans Wolf. Before joining the army, he used to play the cello in an orchestra. So both greeted each other, and they started, both the commanding officer, they started telling about each other. So Mr. Jim McPherson told that he was a teacher, and while as Hans Wolf from he was a commanding officer of German soldier, he told that he used to play, he was a musician he used to play music, the cello in an orchestra. Now both asked where they live. So when he asked where Jim used to live, Jim told he used to live in Dorset. And have you ever been there? He told no, I have not. Yes, I have been there. Though he has not been there, children, he has read about Dorset in Thomas Hardy's novel. What is the name of the novel? Far from the Maddening Crowd. So he has heard this Dorset, the name of the city, Dorset, in the novel, but he told lie to him. The soldiers from the rival camps smoked, laughed, drank wine and feasted, and said that he liked the marzipan, the sweet covering on Jim's bread. Now children, special dishes was sent to Jim by his wife, and he told that he liked the marzipan. It was a sweet covering on Jim's bread. Jim wrote in the letter that he had never seen or imagined a Christmas party like that. They played football also. Both agreed on one point. What was the point? The country should have better resolved their dispute by playing a football or cricket match. Both children, both the side soldiers and the commanding officer, they were in favor that instead of war, we should have cricket or football match, where nobody will die and no wife will become widow and the children will become orphaned. Finally, children, the game was finished. So did the drinks and cake of the soldier. Jim told Hans that they hoped to see families as soon as the fighting ended by Christmas next year. The author put the letter back into the envelope and drove into Bridport. He meant to hand over the letter to Connie. Connie was now 101 years old. Her house had caught fire, but she was saved. She was in a conservatory. The author wished her happy Christmas and gave the letter to her. She recognized the writing of her husband and felt very happy. She mistook Jim McPherson for her husband, because as he had promised he would return next Christmas, and it was the day of Christmas when this author came to give her a letter of her husband. She took him that he is his husband. She wanted to listen to the voice of her husband. She said that he himself was the best Christmas present to her. She kissed the author on the cheek and asked him to read the letter to her. She wanted to listen to the voice of her husband. She said that he himself was the best Christmas present to her. So children, see, this story is very, very touching. Every Christmas, the wife who has become 101 years old now, okay, she is waiting for her husband. And finally, when Jim goes to her, he thinks he should fulfill his last week to keep that, he should give that letter to her, or if she has died, he would search her graveyard and he will keep that letter inside the grave. And then he found that lady who mistook him to be her husband, and she is so happy, and she wanted to hear the voice of her husband. She thinks this is the best Christmas gift till now I have ever had. So children, this was the revision of all the important points of the story, and I am going to start the story. Okay. So children, you can see we were there on page number 10, and Jake McPherson, he is opening the drawer. It was too difficult for him to open the drawer. He hit it hard with the fist. Finally the drawer opened, and what did he found? He found there was something In there, I reached and took out a small black tin box. What he found, a small black tin box was there. Okay, sellotape to the top of it. It was a piece of lined note paper and written on it in shaky handwriting, Jim's last letter. And children, when he took out that box, he found in a shaky handwriting that somebody has written there with a shaky handwriting. And what was written there? Jim's last letter, received January 25, 1915. To be buried with me when the time comes. To be buried with me when the time comes. I knew as I did it that it was wrong of me to open the box. No, children, he did not want to open the box. He did not want to see. But then out of curiosity, he opened the box and got the better of my scruples. Feeling, what is the meaning of scruples? Feeling that make you hesitate to do something wrong. Children, sometimes when we do wrong thing, we feel hesitate from inside not to do. Now children, reading somebody's letter is a very wrong thing. Jim, he was so curious that he could not stop himself to read the letter, and children, he felt it was not good. Inside the box there was an envelope. The address read, Mrs. Jim McPherson, 12 Copper Beaches, Bridport, Dorset. I took out the letter and unfolded it. It was written in pencil and dated at the top December 26, 1914. So children, what was the date written on that letter? December 26, 1914. It was a date when what was going on, and children, he started, he read, he felt very uncomfortable, and finally he took decision. Now we will discuss comprehension check, which is there at page number 10. So my first question is, what did the author find in a junk shop? The author found. Now see how I am changing the verb. You have to write now with the past tense, which you never write. I have seen your copy just now. So the author found a roll top desk for sale in a junk shop. It was made of oak wood, but it was in a very bad condition. So what did author found? He found a roll top desk which was in a bad condition. It was damaged by fire and water, but it was made of oak wood. So children, he wanted to buy it. What did he find in a secret drawer? Who do you think had put it in there? So in the secret drawer of the desk, the author found a small tin box. It had a letter in it. I think the owner of the roll top desk might have put it there. And children, in the secret drawer of the desk, the author found a small tin box. It had a letter in it. I think the owner of the roll top desk might have put it there. Okay, so children, these two questions we have done. All right, and now we are going to read the second part of the chapter. It will start on page number 10 only, and let's do the reading and the explanation part. Now children, the writer, he knew that he is doing something wrong. He is scrupulous. Scrupulous means feeling that makes you hesitate to do something wrong, but he cannot, children, he cannot stop himself. He did not stop himself. Finally children, he took out the letter from the envelope and he started reading. Now let's see what was written here. Okay. Now children, the letter is very large. It is full 3-4 pages letter which I will be explaining. So in the letter it was started with Dearest Connie. So he is addressing his wife, Dearest Connie. I write to you in a much happier frame of mind because something wonderful had just happened that I must tell you about at once. Now children, he is telling, when I am writing this letter to you, I am in a very happiest state of mind. My mind, I am feeling very happy. My mind is in a state of happiness, and I would like to share that happiness, that wonderful feeling which I have just experienced has just happened, and that I must tell you about it at once. So he's telling, I would like to share that happiness, that wonderful feeling about. We were all standing in our trenches yesterday morning. Okay, trenches means children long deep ditches in the ground where soldiers hide from the enemy. So what is the meaning of trenches? Trenches means children long deep ditches in the ground where soldiers hide from the enemy. So you can write it. Long deep ditches in the ground where soldiers hide. Where soldiers hide. Long ditches in the ground where soldiers hide from the enemy. So children, we were all standing in our trenches yesterday morning. So he is telling till yesterday morning we were all standing in our trenches. Christmas morning, it was Christmas morning. It was crisp and quite all about. Everywhere children it was crisp and quiet. Okay. That means children everywhere it was crisp and quiet. That means everybody, there no noise of the war, no fighting, no bullet can be heard. Everywhere it was quiet, as if nobody was there. It was crisp and quiet. As beautiful a morning as I've ever seen. The morning was very beautiful. Snowfall was there, as cold and frosty as a Christmas morning should be. Children, Christmas morning is always cold and ice is there all over the tree, land, everywhere the ice can be seen. So that scene was looking very beautiful. Everywhere there was a quietness. So what the writer is telling, that Christmas morning it was crisp and quite all about, as beautiful a morning as I've ever seen, as cold and frosty as a Christmas morning should be. I should like to be able to tell you that we began it, but the truth I am ashamed to say that is that Fritz began it. Okay. So Fritz are the name of German soldiers. Now children, he is telling that everywhere the scene was very beautiful, quietness was there everywhere, and something very wonderful thing has happened, that I am so happy, my mind became very happy, and he is telling that I would like to share that thing from you. What actually happened? It was Fritz. He said we, then he children control himself. He told no, actually it was not we, but it was Fritz who had began this. That means something was started by the German soldiers. First, someone saw a white flag waving from the trenches opposite. So what was the first thing they saw? They saw that somebody was waving with a white flag in the trench. Now children, what is the meaning of waving with the white flag? Now children, waving with the white flag means that somebody wanted to be, children, what they wanted to be, somebody wanted to children talk, they wanted to have, maybe the soldier or maybe the commanding officer of the army They wanted to have a talk with them. That's why they were moving white flag. Then they were calling out to us from across no man's land, Happy Christmas, Tommy, Happy Christmas. Now children, then they started that the soldiers of the German army, they started calling him, and what did they started calling them? Merry Christmas or Happy Christmas, Tommy. Now children, Tommy were the British soldier. So Tommy here is Fritz is the name of German soldier. Tommy is the name of the Tommy is the name of a British soldier. Okay. Fritz is the name of the German soldiers, and Tommy is the name of the British soldier. So children, what they have seen the German soldier. They were carrying a white color flag which they were moving. They were wishing Merry Christmas. They were wishing Merry Christmas, Tommy, and these people, they were surprised. They were thinking how an enemy can wish them Merry Christmas. Fritz seemed to, then they told Happy Christmas, Tommy, Happy Christmas. When we had got over the surprise, some of us shouted back, Same to you, Fritz, same to you. Now children, at first these people, they were very much surprised, and finally children, they also started calling them Merry Christmas. So from both the side, Merry Christmas was exchanged. I thought Dad would be dead. We all did. But then suddenly none of them was up there in his classy great coat and waving a white flag. And children, suddenly none of them were there putting their khaki coat, and that flag was also not to be seen. And what did they saw? They saw that the Fritz were coming towards them. Okay, don't shoot, lads, someone shouted, and no one did. Now children, somebody told, don't shoot, you're not supposed to shoot today. But then there was another Fritz up on the parapet, and another, keep your head down. So I told the man, it's strict, but it was not. So children, they thought, suddenly so many German soldiers they saw coming. At first they thought it is a trick. Here children, Jim McPherson, who was a commanding officer, who gave order to his soldiers to put their head down. He thought earlier that there might be some trick of some sort. So he is telling that there might be some trick of some sort. So he told his soldiers to put their head down. But the soldiers, finally they realized that they were not coming to shoot them, but they were coming for something else. And what was that something else? Can you guess? Yes, it was to celebrate Christmas. Don't shoot, lads, someone shouted, and no one did. Then there was another Fritz up on the parapet, and keep your head down. I told the man it's a trick, but it wasn't. So children, he was told, at first they thought it is a trick, but it wasn't. And one of the German was waving a bottle above his head. It's Christmas Day, Tommy. We have snaps, we have sauces, we meet you. Yes, by this time there were dozens of them walking towards us across no man's land, and not a rifle between them. No children, finally what happened? The German soldiers, okay, they came with a bottle. They showed the bottle, and they wanted to tell them that no, we are not going to shoot you, instead rather we are going to celebrate Christmas with you. So one of the German soldiers, he started waving a bottle of wine above his head, and he told, it's a Christmas Day, Tommy, we have snappers. Okay, snappers means it's a type of wine. we have sauces, we meet you, yes, but this time there were dozens of them walking towards us across no man's land and not a rifle between them. Suddenly what he saw many German soldiers were walking towards them, and they were without gun this time, which proves that they don't want to fight any more war. They want to celebrate Christmas with them. So with this I end my video here. Thank you and have a nice day ahead.